Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am Bluddworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today I'm taking a first look at the Kickstarter fulfillment of CROWFALL, a massively multiplayer online game that was in a Kickstarter and had been in a Kickstarter since sometime in 2015, which is when I first backed it. Might have even been slightly before that. So this is one of the last MMOs that I actually backed and was looking forward to playing before I shifted over into, away from MMOs and into tabletop gaming again. So, it's really kind of exciting to see that they have finally followed through. The game was launched in its launch state back on the 7th. Basically, or yesterday, there's been one patch to it already. I have not really gone into it other than just loading it up and making sure that it can, that it'll run. So that will be actually episode 1 of a series of videos that I will be doing for this MMO. And without further ado, I'm just going to show the Kickstarter and the video so you can kind of see where they were kind of going with this game, and then I will show you all of the different benefits that they granted in the Kickstarter. Now, I'll just be able to show you a list of them. You will see them in game as I experience them the first time in the second video of this. So without further ado, let's shift over, and we're going to go here, and I'm just going to run this here for you.
Hi, I'm Gordon Walton, and I've executive produced some games you might have heard of, such as Ultima Online, The Sims Online, Star Wars Galaxies, and Star Wars The Old Republic.
Hi, I'm J. Todd Coleman. I'm the creative director of Shadowbane, Wizard 101, and Pirate 101.
And we're the founders of Artcraft Entertainment.
So our goal at Artcraft is to create a new type of online experience, something that hasn't been done before.
I want to play something with the intensity of a season of Game of Thrones, only in a game setting.
Yeah, exactly. Allies, enemies, alliances, betrayal, conquest. These are the components that we feel are lacking in today's online experiences.
And we're going to change that.
So CROWFALL is a mix of a massively multiplayer online role-playing game and a strategy game. The problem is those are two very, very different genres. In an MMO, the expectation players have is that the world will be persistent, actually permanent. In a strategy game, the expectation is that the game is over when somebody wins. So imagine a family gets together once a year for a game of Risk. Only it's not for different game of Risk every year. They're getting together to continue the same game of Risk. Like at the end of the night, they just throw a tablecloth over the board. They come back the next year, remove the cloth, and all the pieces are in the same place. So they pick up the game from where they left off last year. The first year would actually be a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody would be in the game, jockeying for position, trying to figure out where their place was in the world. By year 2, one person, let's say Uncle Bob, starts to pull ahead. A few people drop out. The other people are still kind of enjoying themselves, though it's pretty obvious that they're not going to win. By year 3, Bob is clearly pulled ahead and everyone else is bored. In fact, the only one having fun at this point is Uncle Bob. Fast forward 10 years. Bob is now an unassailable tyrant, and anyone who even tries to challenge him is crushed instantly. Nobody's having fun, not even Uncle Bob. This is the problem with a strategy game. A strategy game inherently has to have a chance to restart, or the game simply doesn't work. It stops being fun. So how do we marry the concepts of an MMO, which is supposed to be persistent and forever, with a strategy game, which is supposed to naturally come to an end? We have a solution, and it's based on the passage of time. We call it Eternal Heroes, Dying Worlds.
So the concept is the heroes are permanent, but the worlds, they're not. They decay, they get destroyed. Imagine you're playing a campaign, say 3 months. The campaign ends. Well, your character doesn't get destroyed, the world gets destroyed. After that's done, you get to pick a whole new campaign. At any given time, there may be dozens of campaigns. You just choose one, and in you go.
Each world in the CROWFALL universe is unique. Unique map, unique rule set, unique victory conditions. It's like a bunch of massively multiplayer games of Risk all running together at the same time. Players choose a world and then a team, either a faction or a guild, and then they vie for control of that world.
At the beginning of every campaign, players are dropped into new worlds that are unknown to them. They don't know where they are, where they're going, or what's around them.
When your player lands there for the very first time, it's like the first turn of civilization. Our whole world is fully dynamically created at the beginning of the campaign. All the oceans, continents, rivers, hills, they're all different in every world.
Each map is filled with ancient ruins and towns, caves, stuff for players to explore.
Not only do you have to explore the physical world, but you also have to explore the different rules that can change from campaign to campaign, such as how strong magic is, what races are present, and what technology you can use.
So we solved the challenge of resetting the strategy map without wiping the players. That's awesome in and of itself, but what if we take it further? If the worlds are going to reset anyway, why not let them be fully destructible?
From the moment Todd came to me and told me about this game, the one thing that I really was excited about was the destruction.
The world is made of voxels, which are little building blocks, a bit like Minecraft, but much smaller.
Most people are using voxels for creation. They're using them to create sandboxes where people can build. We're using them for a very different reason. We're using voxels for destruction. This game is all about creating sandcastles and then kicking them over.
Players can do everything from blow holes in walls, they can dig tunnels underneath keeps and siege from below.
The idea of coming around a corner, finding another player, shooting a fireball, hitting a wall, blowing that up, and having that fall down on that player was just an awesome idea.
Once you allow players to build and destroy castles, they can claim territory. And with territory comes real political power.
The fealty system is based on trees. You can grant lands to vassals, and then they can in turn grant that land to vassals of their own.
There's 2 types of worlds. Campaign worlds are like a soccer match. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And then the players move on and take that experience into the next game. The Eternal Kingdoms, though, are like the whole soccer season.
The Eternal Kingdoms is where you would come back between campaigns. It's where your player housing is. It's also where you would, count your spoils from war or lick your wounds if you didn't have such a successful bout.
The player who owns the world gets to decide things like the taxes and the tariffs and even the PvP rules. Those players completely control those worlds. So to get to this point, it's required a significant outlay of money. Some of that's come from external investors. A big chunk of it actually came from us. And I know you've heard stories about game designers and producers who have sold their company for tens of millions of dollars. You're not those guys. So this is a significant risk for us, right? We're doing this because we fundamentally want to see this game get made. We're hoping that you guys want to see it get made too. That's why we decided to go directly to Kickstarter and appeal to you, because we don't want to look for external money if we can help it.
We clearly know how to raise money from publishers or from venture capitalists if we need to, but we don't want them dictating how the game gets made. We'd rather make the game for you.
Yeah, the problem with external money is once you take a bunch of money from somebody, all of a sudden they start doing spreadsheets and saying, okay, how can we adapt this game to appeal to a broader and broader audience because we'll make more money? And when you do that, the vision inevitably suffers.
We'll do what it takes to get the game made, but frankly, we'd rather be working for you. From all of us at ArtCraft,
we really believe in this game and we really want to make it for you.
Please support our Kickstarter and we'll
see you in game!
So there you have the first part of it that I was going to go over. Now, let's take a look very quickly. I just have to switch screens. Come out of this one. And what I'm going to do now is go over the what I actually picked up in this Kickstarter. So there were literally 5 pages worth of items and and benefits and just other art enhancements and such that that came along with this. So if we just go to downloadable rewards, we have there's a digital art book and a digital soundtrack. Consumed awards, we have a Dwarven Blacksmith Thrall, and so on. So 1 month of VIP once I log in. Digital art book I already mentioned. A quarter horse for Kickstarters only. An arcane weapons set for Kickstarters only. Digital game copy, which I have obviously here. Credits as a patron of Kickstarter, character slot, additional character slots, and Archon Greatsword Relic, large, forum badges, a Kickstarter pig, which is like a pet, Kickstarter small fort, which goes on your home realm, Alpha 2 access, a Nightmare Mount, Kickstarter only, a God statue, 1 of 12, Kickstarter only, a War Horse, Kickstarter only, the soundtrack, a cottage, which goes on your home world, extra VIP Kickstarters, where I can actually give those out in order to gain some additional coins, I guess, to spend in their store. The Kickstarter vault size is increased by 20%. Name a fallen hero, which is something that that I have as far as what I backed at. All Father statue relic with the Blessing of Knowledge, Kickstarter exclusive. Stoneborn relic, a Centaur relic, and 1 month of VIP bonus. So now I got 2 months of VIP along with it. That is just the consumables. There are no redeemable awards, codes. I can refer friends for benefits, an unlimited number of referrals that I can do. So a lot came with this Kickstarter. And if I go back here to where I signed in, I picked up the early bird special. And I'm not quite sure if you're actually seeing this. Well, you will be now. So I picked up the early bird special. So it was a pledge of $150 for the 175 gold patron level. As you can see, the estimated delivery date was December of 2016. So it took them a while to get here. But it was a very successful Kickstarter campaign that they ran. It raised 1.7, almost $1.8 million. And there were 16,900 backers. So I'm hoping that we see that many players actually in the game when we get back to this. So once again, really, really excited about diving into this and taking a look. It's been quite a while since I've done any MMOs on the channel, so excited about that as well. And hopefully it plays well. And even though this is only day 2, I have seen that they did a patch already, which is a good sign in some cases. Let me take this off. I don't need it. So once again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you for joining. If you have any interest in this game, just let me know. I seem to have unlimited invitations where you'll get some bonuses, for coming in and doing free trials. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And I will do a series of videos revolving around this game, unless I I come to realize that, I'm not really a big fan of it. So we shall see. I didn't take the opportunity to go into any of the betas, or not very many, maybe the first beta, that round 2 that I mentioned. But there were about 6 or 7 different rounds of beta testing that they did before release, and I decided to just step away from it and let it develop on its own, and then I'll come in and see what it's going to be like on launch day, which I'll probably do in a little bit, just to test it out and see how things work out. That way, my episode 1 for this series of videos will be a little bit more polished. I'll be able to actually know what I'm talking about when I'm showing you various things. So certainly looking forward to doing that as well. So thanks for joining. I hope you liked this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments about it, please leave them in there. Obviously, I'm going to be seeing the game for the first time this evening, so so it might be a day or two before I get around to actually putting up that episode 1 of actual gameplay. So once again, thanks for joining. Almost Friday, so closing out on the week and approaching the weekend. I have some games going on. So this evening, I know I have my AD&D First Edition game. I keep on calling it AD&D First Edition game, and actually it's a different game system, kind of a homebrewed system. So it's not really AD&D. So I will be playing that tonight, and then over the weekend, I'm looking to introduce another player to my my For Gold and Glory campaign, which I just started last week. So again, thanks for joining. Have a great day. Take care.